Welcome to case number 5 in our series ABG of the Week. And for all of you who have been listening to our videos so far, thank you for the lovely comments that you have made. Please keep your comments and suggestions coming in. This week, we have a 56-year-old lady who was recently diagnosed as hypertensive, and she is now admitted with altered sensorium, weakness, mild breathlessness, and vomiting. Her blood pressure is 140 by 90, heart rate is 94, her saturations are good on 1 liter of oxygen. She is mildly tachypneic, but the chest is clear. A blood gas is done. This is the blood gas value. What I want you to do is, I want you to interpret this ABG. And to do so, please take a paper, pencil, and a calculator and pause this video. Solve the problem on your own. And once you've committed an answer on paper, then resume this video. Resuming now. The oxygenation status. The PaO2 in this case is 95, which is within the limit of 80 to 100. So the oxemic status is normal, or you could call it normoxemia. As we discussed in the previous videos, you should always calculate the alveolar arterial gradient when you can. And in this case, though oxygenation is within acceptable range, it does not mean that there is no lung pathology. So when you calculate an alveolar arterial gradient and you find it to be high, like in this case, where it is more than double the expected value in this case, it implies that there is an underlying lung pathology. The ventilatory status. You need to look at the PaCO2. In this case, PaCO2 is low, so person is hyperventilating. And now come to the acid-base status. First, you must look at the pH. The pH is alkaline, so there's an alkalemia. And so you need to look at, does the PaCO2 explain it or the bicarbonate? In this case, the bicarbonate is high, so there is metabolic alkalosis, but the PaCO2 is also low. So there is also primary respiratory alkalosis. So there are two primary pathologies that you can pick up straight away at this stage. The next step is to look at compensation. In primary metabolic alkalosis, the expected PaCO2 for a bicarbonate of 35 would be 46 to 51. But here the PaCO2 is only 30. That means it is lower than expected, and therefore there has to be a respiratory alkalosis present. But we already picked that up. Whenever you have metabolic alkalosis, you need to find out whether it is fluid responsive or fluid unresponsive, which is another way of saying, is there hypovolemia or no hypovolemia? If the urinary chlorides are less than 15 and some people say less than 20, it means that the person is saline responsive, or in other words, patient is hypovolemic. And you need to use your clinical skills to determine why he is hypovolemic. In this case, the urinary chlorides are definitely below 15. It is only 8. So there is hypovolemia. The hypovolemia could be because of vomiting, could be because of other things, and we will see that later. So in conclusion, this patient has a metabolic alkalosis and a respiratory alkalosis. There is a high alveolar arterial gradient, which means there is a lung pathology, and person is hyperventilating. What could be the cause of metabolic alkalosis? Well, from the history, the person is vomiting. That can cause it. We looked at the urinary chloride importance, and it pointed to hypovolemia or contraction alkalosis. There is some hypokalemia, so that could be a cause. And another less appreciated cause is hypochloremia. Remember hyperchloremic metabolic acidosis, which is another word for normal and ANGAP metabolic acidosis. So if hyperchloremia can cause metabolic acidosis, hypochloremia can cause metabolic alkalosis. Out of these possibilities, we saw that the predominant problem seems to be hypovolemia, maybe due to vomiting because the urinary chlorides are low. What could be the cause of respiratory alkalosis? Well, there is evidence of an altered sensorium, there's weakness of the body on one side. So there could be a central cause for the hyperventilation following a primary CNS insult like a cerebral hemorrhage or a stroke. Since the alveolar arterial gradient is affected, it means that it is possible that the person aspirated because he's vomiting and he aspirated, and therefore there is aspiration pneumonia. There could be neurogenic pulmonary edema as a cause, but it is unlikely. It's usually more common if there is a convulsion or a status epilepticus, etc. The increased alveolar arterial gradient favors an aspiration pneumonia. What's interesting in this case is that there's a metabolic alkalosis with a urinary chloride which is low. So, what I want to share with you is what are the causes of metabolic alkalosis with a low urinary chloride. With a low urinary chloride, it means that essentially there is hypovolemia, and the common causes are vomiting and nasogastric aspiration or continuous nasogastric suctioning. Recent diuretics are also an important cause of metabolic alkalosis with a low urinary chloride. The other less common causes are someone who has had raised PCO2 and is now being brought down to normal, administration of bicarbonates or alkali, massive blood transfusions because of the citrate, and total parenteral nutritions which contain acetate. They can also give rise to metabolic alkalosis. Hope you enjoyed these videos, and please keep your comments and suggestions coming. We love to read them, we love to respond to them, and if you have an interesting ABG, please share it with us on abgoftheweek@gmail.com. If you're new to this website, if you're listening to these videos for the first time, please don't forget to click the subscribe button and click on the bell icon so that you can be informed as soon as a new video is uploaded. Take care, be safe, see you in the next video.